Alright, what's going on, guys? We are doing a Gen 4 random battle here. I love Generation 4. It's probably one of my favorite generations. I am Chris349 over here, and Beep Schmeep is our opponent. Let's get right into it. First Pokemon we get is a Scarchomp, and he has a Mawile. Now, I am going to switch to Steelix, and you'll see Steelix is going to be the MVP here, surprisingly, not Garchomp. And Mawile is going to stick around and go for a Swords Dance. Now, Steelix is a Steel Ground type, Mawile is just a regular Steel type, so he's going to Swords Dance, and he makes a big mistake by sticking around, but we'll see. So he Swords Dance, and now he has 2 attack. But even with 2 attack, Sucker Punch on the Steelix is just not going to do very much damage. Meanwhile, I can go, I hit it with Earthquake, and that is super effective. Of course, it brings him down, way down to 26% health. Now, at this point, I'm like, okay, I assume that he's not going to just stick around for another Earthquake, because that would be suicide, right? Even if he is a little bit faster than me. So I go ahead and go for a Toxic. And he is, I guess, maybe he predicts I'm going to switch. Maybe he's a genius and he thinks I'm going to Toxic, so he just switches. I don't know how he would do that, but he goes for a Iron Head. And that is obviously not very effective, even with the Swords Dance. It brings me to 81%. And I Toxic. Steel is immune to Toxic, so he gets a free turn there. But that's only because I just totally assumed he would switch out, and he did not. So he sticks around. I go to 87%. He's faster than me, so he gets one more Iron Head off, brings it down to 70%, and my second Earthquake will take it out. So that is good for me. 77% after leftovers. Now here comes Poliwrath, and I am not about to stick in with Steelix. I don't want to throw him away. It's too useful for that. So I will switch out to Jinx, knowing that I think I can take a Surf or like a Hydro Pump because Jinx special defense is pretty good. But it turns out that it is neither. And I take a Waterfall, which is not what I wanted to take. Fortunately, Jinx is a very fast Pokemon, and that will come in very handy here in a second. And it takes me down to 41%. I go for a Lovely Kiss, and thankfully I land it. So 55% actually, I land it. So kind of risky. That this fight could have gone very differently had I missed this sleep, but nonetheless, I go for it. He puts him to sleep. Of course, he's going to miss his turn. And here, I'm going to go for a Substitute. I could have just went for a Psychic immediately, but I decided to go for Substitute to set up on him. And he, surprisingly enough, has Sleep Talk. So he's going to go for that, but he wakes up. So he fails his Sleep Talk. Really, really sad for Poliwrath. I expected him to be asleep another turn. He expected him to be asleep for another turn. But he fails a Sleep Talk, and I get to Psychic him. So massive damage on the Poliwrath. And then he's going to Waterfall, kill off my Substitute, and then with one more Psychic from Jinx, it's going to take him out, but he is going to switch. So he switches to Granbull, and this is probably like maybe the worst mistake he made all game. I don't know, Granbull doesn't have the best special defense, and you will just see, even with Intimidate does not lower special attack, it only lowers regular attack. Maybe he was confused. Maybe he thought that he could tank the hit longer, but you will see how much damage Psychic does this thing, 49%. So we know it's going to be a 2-turn Psychic if he doesn't switch out. And yeah, he doesn't, and I'm faster. So that was easy kill for me. And then at this point, I'm like, okay, cool. He's going to switch into Scyther, and I'm going to switch to Steelix because whatever Scyther does, I think Steelix can comfortably take. Maybe I can Toxic something, and just otherwise just be a nuisance. So he is going to do Airlace. That does practically nothing to Steelix, and I get leftovers, so I heal back up. I am going to be slower, but he switches to Togekiss. And I will go ahead and basically predict the switch. I figured he wasn't going to stick around with Scyther, but it didn't really matter. So I tossed out my Toxic. This time, it actually hit something. He's going to switch out because he doesn't want to take the Toxic damage. He goes for Huntail because Huntail is a water type. I go for Roar back Scyther. And for this point, our opponent just goes ahead and resigns because he realizes there's no way he can win. He's just like, I'm done. I'm out of here. And he just rage quits against the Steelix. So it's very fun to see that. Turn 14 victory. And that is GG. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will see you in the next one.